commission meeting to order of April 23rd. Roll call. Let the record show that all commissioners are present today. Commissioner Perroni, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. Moving on, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Perroni, second.
I second it.
Second.
By Commissioner Cardenas. Uribe, sorry. Wrong. Uribe. Okay. Moving on. Public comments. Do we have any public comments from the audience at this moment? Please come to the podium. Nope. Being none, we're moving on. Approval of consent agenda. Approval of regular planning commission minutes of March 26, 2018. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Perroni, second.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Salazar. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, pass. Moving on to informational items. Item 2A, Planning Commission attendance record. And item 2B, Portal tentative map. Ralph?
Chairperson and Planning Commissioners, as we've been talking in the past about a development project coming to surface in reality, we've been working with the El Portal subdivision. And this project right now is going through an EIR, which is almost completed. I think we're almost at between the 80-90% of it being completed, more at the 90% and getting closer. So what staff and developer of the El Portal subdivision would like to do is kind of share with you what the subdivision map is going to look like and what is going in there. We know we've got some single family and some apartments. And so what I'd like to do at this point, I'd like to kind of turn over the microphone to Mr. Charlie Schreiber, and then he can kind of explain what the plans are, and then if there's any questions that you may have, then you can bring it up to him. Now, as it brings out here, this is just informational item. There is no decisions to be made or at this point. It will be coming back after the EIR is completed. The subdivision map or tentative map has been reviewed. It will be coming back for the Planning Commission to review it and to take action at that time. So at this time, I'd like to allow Mr. Schreiber to come up and then, like I said before, kind of explain a little bit what this project is going to be.
Hello, my name is Charlie Schreiber. I'm the developer and builder on this project. I live in Calexico over off of Broadway and Cole, so I'm a native here too. So I'm a local developer basically. So we had meetings earlier as we bought this property last summer and talked about certain items that the commissioners, the board would like in individual buyers. And we came up with the idea, actually your guys' idea of the gated community, 24-hour guard service, private parks, private gym, etc. So that's what we created, was a private gated community park with 5 entrances, several parks, basketball courts, tennis courts, swimming pools, soccer fields. And we have three different, well, actually it's 4 different developments. We have 3 different housing developments and 1 apartment. It's a quality apartments, so they're more of a higher end apartments. So to pretty much be open to anybody that has a job, basically, entry-level person to a middle-level group of people, and then, of course, a higher earning group of people. So, bigger houses, medium houses, and then entry-level homes that hopefully we can get people with normal jobs that can get in here. Hopefully interest rates won't go too high on us, and to have that level. And then, of course, apartments for people that can't afford to buy or don't want to buy or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of a general view, it's a general plan for every classification of people that have a job that want to, that work. So kind of what our concept is right there. So again, like Ralph said, I just wanted to bring it early into the stages of things so you can see what we're doing. If you have questions, changes, good time to work on that now than at the very end. So we're just kind of doing that in other aspects. So the city's been really great working with us. So anyways, that's what we have. If you have any questions, you can ask me, or down the road, we can have meetings, whatever you want, suggestions. That I listened to every suggestion that I heard. Mary had a lot of good ones. So any other suggestions, we're all ears. So any questions?
I have a question. You have your apartments right here on your northwest corner.
Yes.
How many units do you plan to?
That right there is 350. Yeah.
At one time that was considered either a commercial component or a school.
Yeah, the school was on the other side with McMillan, correct.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was all residential with McMillan's map was all residential, and on the right lower side was the school land.
Exactly, and I think at one time it was even put in as. So my question, have you given any thought? You're going to be probably a population of over 3,000 people, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more. So have you given any thought on the school site there?
Yeah, before we actually even bought property, we met with all the council members at the time and the commission, the planning members at the time, and the school district. The school district, we said we can give you the property if you want, lieu of school fees on our end. Who was it that I talked to? Mo? Yeah, Mo. No. Yeah, it's one of the superintendents, and she says even if we gave them the land, they have no money. She said we got a bond, we're using all the money up just to fix things up. So if you gave us the land, we can't even put trailers on it. I said, well, I don't want trailers on it. Yeah, so she said we would rather have the school fee money because it will be quite a bit of money that we're going to give them to the school fee. So I did my due diligence with the IID, the gas company, the planning commission, the council members at the time. This was like last April, before we even looked at any property. I just wanted to make sure we weren't wasting our time, that we were wanted down here to do. And we have to work out whatever to make it all work for everybody. But anyways, that was one of the due diligence I did, was with the school district, what we had to do there. And again, that's what was her words were, is we'd rather have the school fee money. Because they don't have any extra money. Yep. Yeah. What I thought, I told her would be a good idea, they have, on the elementary school, I think there's acreage enough to add on to that. And I can't remember how many classrooms she said it would be. I said, that would be good for our school fees, go straight right into that elementary school. I can't build anything. I offer everybody, but it has to be government regulated and all that stuff to build schools and parks and stuff for the government. So, so that's what my suggestion was: is put it into a building that you already have. You already have parking. You just have to add some more parking. It'd be a lot less expensive. And again, she had the choice. Again, we talked to her about that. What do you want to do here? So I agree with you. We are going to create a bunch more kids.
Good that you extended your hand to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because at one time, that piece of land was
Yeah, it was McMillan, yes.
Yes.
Right. But I did reach out, and again, like I just told you, they can't afford to build the school. So hopefully they'll take, I mean, if everything, building's all based off of the economy, obviously. So the sooner I get started, the more we can get in before the economy turns. So hopefully there's enough money in the schools that they use it properly to do something like that. I can't control what they do with the money. But hopefully they will add on to that, because we did have that conversation about the elementary school. They add on there because they have room.
On this project, you have no commercial level.
No commercial, yes. There's a lot of commercial vacant land around me, all around me. It's a bunch of commercial.
Yes,
Yeah, so,
but it doesn't look like there's a lot of buildings going on commercial.
right.
Maybe, it would be an ideal to be like moving,
What I'm hoping is we're bringing in residential, which we need, and then that's going to bring in commercial, and there's commercial land, so hopefully the people that own this land across from us, next to us, will start building commercial. You know, obviously the new credit union's going in, down the street from us, and La Carnitas is done now, and I know they're talking about some other restaurants that possibly will come in. So hopefully the amount of people coming in are going to be that need for more commercial. So for us to have more commercial in that area, there's so much commercial now, I don't think we're going to be benefiting from that, or anybody's going to be benefiting from that. So, because we thought about all these different scenarios, what would be the best thing to do. So it seems like the best thing right now is just create some housing and some income to the city. Obviously, you got, you have taxes, you got sewer, water connection fees, school fees going to the schools, kids every year. So it's going to create a lot of revenue for the city of Calexico.
so you have about 627 lots.
627, yes.
Mostly, when I see elevations on this side, when I see that side.
Right.
What's your raise going to be?
The PUDs are on the smaller lots. Those are the ones on the left.
What are those lots?
Those lots are going to be 30 by 85. So what I can do by doing that, because the cost of materials is just ridiculous. Lumber, metal, obviously, because of the tariff, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I get hits every 3 months. It's just ridiculous. So that house is going to probably cost me the same as my bigger houses. So the only way we're going to be able to save money, and they do a lot of this in San Diego, is to be able to put a few more houses on 500 feet. Basically, you're going 40 feet or 30 feet instead of 50 or 60 feet from medium-sized lots, and my bigger lots are 70, so those are going to be bigger houses, 3-car garages, et cetera, like that. Yeah, well, those bigger houses. So I'm going to have more houses because of the smaller lots, and that therefore will give me less infrastructure costs, and I can bring the cost of the house down to the entry-level people that are hunting for something. But I know it's all based off of, it's not so much the price of the house, it's what the payment is. That's what I'm building in Brawley right now, so I'm building a bunch of houses up there. I'm using these 7 houses down here, and what I'm finding out, and obviously Mary would know that in real estate, is I only want to pay this amount of money, or I can only afford to pay this amount of money. Like $1,350 is a lot from an entry-level person, property taxes and everything. With interest rates and everything, that's going to be a hard one to crack now. And then a lot of people don't want to pay any more than $15,000, and other people don't want to pay more than $17,000, and you have the few that don't care. So that's kind of the price ranges that I'm running into right now. So I got to create a house that fits in those payments. And pretty much, we put $5,000 down in the house, that's pretty much nothing. You might as well keep it because you need to put down 50% or 25% to make your payment any different.
What's your square footage on something like that?
The entry-level ones are 17 to 19. So they're still, I'm getting a 3-bedroom up to a 5-bedroom in there. And I like all my rooms pretty roomy, so it's going to be nice. The medium ones are 15 up to 18, but they're on the 60-foot wide lots, so they're, single stories. And then my bigger houses, that's these right here, are 18 up to 25. And that's on a 70-foot wide lot, so you can put a 3-car garage.
What's going to be like your entry-level house?
The price range?
No, square footage.
Oh, yeah, that's 17 to 19. That's the entry-level house.
What's going to be your price point?
Well, I'm trying for 245, 250, but that all depends by the time I start what happens to material at that point. Again. Yeah, I know that's a price. I can keep that $1,350 range. And there's a lot of people out there that that's the max. They're paying maybe $1,000 to $1,100 a nice apartment, and they can maybe squeeze a couple $100 more out, but that's about it. So that's kind of my goal. Going to look around for some better financing. Maybe we can find some better plans for them. Different things to look for.
These ones here, what size lot are you?
These are the bigger houses, 70 feet wide and by 102 to 115, depending where they are in the project. Those are the ones that run along the back where the retention basin is, on that whole road down the sides a little bit. You kind of see the lots look a little bit bigger there. And then right down El Portal is the main road. So basically, I'm thinking somebody that wants to spend that kind of money, that's going to be the quietest part of the project. Way back there, there's just no noise at all. You can't hear Coal Road, you can't hear anything. The medium houses are the ones kind of below that. There's El Portal, there's a Spud Marina right there in the middle there. That's kind of the medium. You see the smaller lots on the left and the right. Those are the PUD houses we were just talking about. And then I put the apartments on the left corner because if any place is going to be the noisiest, it's going to be right there where the light is. So, kind of thought out the layouts of the amount of money people are spending.
Now, you're planning also on having part of it gated?
All of it gated.
All of it's going to be
The
gated?
whole project is 100% gated. 24 hours guard service, security. What I'm going to do is, the whole thing, we have, the main entrance was El Portal, right there in the center, 2 on the left and 2 on the right.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
What's your association fee going to be?
Right now, the HOA fees, because we have to, we're taking care of everything. The city doesn't have to fix the roads, the sidewalks, the parks, or anything. I think I can get it under $50 a month because I took the state qualifications and I put in those numbers. They like for asphalt, for example, you have to figure 10 cents a square foot. See, that's what you figure because you break it all down. And because the project is so big, when I did the divided it, because I'm actually me and the investor is going to actually keep the apartments ourselves. So we're going to actually own the apartments because again, I live down here, so I want to take control of that and run that. And then basically, I'm a developer, so I have all kinds of guys that work for me. So I'm just going to create my own maintenance crew and stuff because that way I can keep an eye on it, make sure it's all done nice to my perfection.
That'll be a very
Yeah.
affordable.
Well, so because we as apartment people have to pay our share too, so I'm adding that into it. So that's kind of what I came up with right now. So off of the state of California regulations of what they figure for each thing, sidewalks, lights, gates, block walls, everything. It's all broken in there.
I commend you for taking throwing the dice on this project.
Well, yeah, life is a gamble, as we all know. When you're in construction, it's even a bigger gamble. Then when you go to Vegas, it's a huge gamble. I don't go to Vegas, so it's okay.
But you know what? You came to the right city.
No, actually, well, I built all the Victoria homes. I was a framer. So,
Okay.
and I live in one of them over there. So I know Jim Leslie and all, every Victoria home around here I built. So I've been here for a while. So I ended up just moving down here and buying a house here.
Because I see some of your recipes coming from the Victoria.
Well, yeah, actually, some of the
Over
homes,
here.
every house, I like to take credit for everything, but I can't take credit for anything. So I take the plans of people, and Jim Leslie, several of his houses are there, and I just kind of look at them and twist them and turn them. I'm a carpenter, so being in the field for so long, you can look at things. You got to look at layouts structurally. You can't just move a wall around. You got to know, what's it going to do to the roof, what it's going to do to the slab. So through my years of experience, I just kind of play around with houses and move walls. And you look at it on a Saturday, and a couple weeks later, you come back and look at it again. So all this stuff is pieces of Jim Leslie and pieces of
But
some
most
other
of
ones.
this, Jim Leslie's not
Yeah,
doing
his
too much.
style of homes, when you get to this level, he's doing the, over there on Tuscany right now, he's doing the rocks and stuff in the front. And I'm doing the siding because siding's pretty expensive as a contractor, but because I'm a carpenter, I can do the siding, I do the framing at cost. I can throw that in just to give it a different elevation. And then roof lines, if you notice all the roof lines, being a carpenter, none of them are exactly the same. So because I spend time changing all that.
I like the architecture, I like the
Yeah.
design, because it's traditional. A few builders have come to the valley, and they want to build a desert house here.
Right.
No flat roofs, they're crazy, you can't do it.
That doesn't.
We like traditional homes.
In colors, I have 6 different colors. I don't have brown, I don't have light brown, medium brown, and dark brown. as most tracks do, like where I live. So I just did all kinds of different colors, just to give you excitement.
Well, I commend you.
Yeah, so.
It looks like it's going to be a beautiful project.
Yeah, that's my whole, again, because I live here, and I'm not a typical developer coming, like McMillan coming down. I did a bunch of McMillan stuff. That's what they do. They buy land, build, and they feed. That's what they do. So I kind of want to drive by it, and look at it, and go, wow, it's a nice project. The way I look at it, and you know, again, I'm not a big developer, it's a lot of money for somebody to buy a house. We all know that. We all buy houses. It costs money. You know, it's a big investment, the biggest investment. So I build everything as though I'm building it for myself. I'm pretty picky on my own stuff. So trying to get it as nice and organized and beautiful as possible. So, but we're open for suggestions. That's what we're planning on doing.
Any other comments from the commission?
I have a question. With the HOA, do you think $50, $75 is still realistic?
Well, when I did the numbers, it was. I took the numbers from the book. It tells you how much it is. You break it all down, and you multiply it times all the houses, divide it by 12. That's what it came to. So at this point, yes.
Oh,
So because it's so large of a project, I'm dividing 627 plus the apartments into that number. So when I first did the numbers, man, that's a lot of numbers. But then when I did all the math, and, well, you know, it's ended up being okay. So.
because that's where the average buyer or the buyer is going to get hit with the HOA more than the payments.
It's not a CFD, as we all know about CFDs. You know, it's an HOA. Unfortunately, I have to call an HOA by the state of California. I prefer to call it maintenance security. Because all it is the money is strictly for maintenance. And then the security guard, which is pennies of it. The rest of it is just money put aside to maintain the parks, maintain the basin, maintain the sidewalks, maintain the block wall, the asphalt. And if you do, I talk to these asphalt guys, it's like if you seal the asphalt every 2 years, you will never have to replace the asphalt. Like all of us, including myself, we don't do anything to our asphalt, and it gets so bad. That's why our streets, and even, you know, my apartments I have right now are just disastrous. So you got to just follow that protocol of maintenance. So basically it's HOA, but it's for maintenance.
You're looking at the gates, where the gates are. You're looking at two on, I want to say it's Andrade.
Uh-huh.
And then the new street that's going to be on
Cleveland.
the east.
Yeah, to Cleveland.
And then one more on
On
Cole
El
Road.
Portal, which will be our main entrance once we get down to there. We're starting on the northwest corner, and we're going to be working ourselves down and to the right. So we'll go all the way up Andrade, come in at Spud Marino. That's where going to be our entrance, and then we're going to build all the plans starting right there in that area.
Okay, probably for Ralph. Over here, the property over here, how far is that under construction? The mobile park?
Came to a dead
Halt.
Yeah, as far as we're concerned, we're not involved in that project
I would-
because it's a mobile park and the county is the jurisdiction of that. But my understanding that there's nothing being done right now. As a matter of fact, last week sometime I took a drive in there and there's no construction, there's no activity going on. So we really don't know. I'm going to get a hold of the planning department and the county and see what the status is, so they can give us an update as to why they haven't continued on.
They invested a lot of money. They have all, you know, streets, curbs, and gutter utilities. Yeah, all around, and I think they were building their what do you call that house?
Clubhouse?
Yeah, clubhouse. And
Yes, nothing there. Actually, it's always a bad sign when the temporary fences, there's no temporary fences.
you know, the concept, you know, people here in the valley, they don't want to lease land. They want to buy it and know they own that ground on the bottom. So they wanted to do that. They've done it in other projects. So I guess they probably thought it's not going to happen, but I think soon we're going to probably, somebody else will take that project.
Question?
No.
Oh, okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Mentioned realtor, saying the fastest builder ever seen in Rome. So hope we get this over here too.
That's not much to say, but thank you.
Yeah, so I thought it was really impressive, so, yeah, good job.
We build faster than we can sell, let's put it that way. Oh, here, I can't build as fast as we can sell.
Need to sell.
So-
We need the same pace over here.
Oh, no, we're gonna need a way faster pace down here.
Okay.
I mean, that pace is less than that we're gonna be doing down here.
And
So,
then I love the project, and I just like to see the landscaping, have more trees, like dying in the summer. Just, but I see very sadly, all the streets have no trees. All the new developments have 0 trees. So maybe that's something we need.
yeah, actually, we did a real quick, this was at the last minute, throw everything together, because I wanted to do a prelim on everything. But yeah, I definitely want to put more trees in. I'm working on a walking path, they're going all the way around, that would add more trees and stuff. So anyways, yes, I agree. I better stop.
I have a question for Ralph. You can go ahead and sit down if
Okay,
you would like to. I have a question for staff. I'm reading your note here. It says 45-day review for an EIR. Is this a full EIR or a focused EIR? Full EIR. So I'm imagining that we will be getting written comments from all affected agencies, including the school district, and that we will be able to read who was the mysterious persons that said, we don't want a school, we want the cash. Because that is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is a full-blown EIR that's being done, so it's going to go through the full process, and once it's completed, then,
Right, we'll be able to-
it'll be going out for a 45-day review, and then it'll be coming to the planning commission.
When did it begin, the 45 days?
It hasn't started yet.
Oh, it hasn't
No,
started
no,
yet?
we're not
When will
there
it,
yet.
when will it be?
We're hoping that, I think, within the next 30 days? Yeah, about the next 30 days or so, it should be completed. We just had our traffic study, not completed, but at a point that we send it out to Caltrans to get their comments on it, because it's very important to get their comments. Once that happens, then they'll start putting everything together. And with that, then finalization of the EIR, and then go out for the 45-day review.
Okay, just one question. You can appreciate your tentative map because it's an 8 by 10, but I see that there's a retention basin way towards the canal bank.
Yes.
Who's going to maintain that if it's going to be a private gated community?
That is something we're working with the developer. I don't want to say that it's leading towards the developer because we haven't come to an agreement yet, but it kind of seems that it may be that way because he's going to have more access to it, being that it's going to be a gated community. We're also setting certain restrictions or requirements on that retention. Something that we've been talking to the developer, and he even suggested himself about not just putting a chain link fence around it, but maybe something that's more decorative. And even in the retention, we want to see something in there, maybe some rock or something that will make it look a little more attractive and not make it look so much as a retention. But these are things that we're working with the developer, and we're trying to come to an agreement on that.
Okay, all right. So then his gate will end at the end of the property lots, and the retention basin will be open, like you say, possibly with a chain link?
At this point,
The block wall will be behind the house.
Okay, and then
But they
the,
would like to have to use like iron
right,
rail around with
Yeah.
block wall to make it look nice.
okay,
But it will still be, it's really the city's responsibility.
right,
We are negotiating possibly
maintaining, and that will,
forming their retaining limits.
so that would be included in the HOA.
it'll have, like Mr. Schreiber brought out, a wrought iron fence around
Right,
it
right,
instead of a chain link fence.
Yeah, yeah. And as much as I agree with Commissioner Salazar on more green belts and more greenery, I know that California is in a water conservation mode, and it'll probably get worse since now we're going to be on meter measured on what is it? The new water rates will be based on meter use,
Consumption, yeah.
consumption use. So I know people will not be watering their grass as much.
No.
They're probably going to go with a
They're
desert
gonna save the
landscape
water,
like
yes.
Palm Springs or something like that. And yes, we do need those green belts, but I've seen some green belts throughout the city that are not kept. We see trash and dry grass or debris all over, and we know the city doesn't have the public works staff to maintain those, so we have to pin it back on the property owner or like the developer to maintain those things. So we got to make sure that we're vigilant on that.
Yeah,
together
we'll
with-
make sure we do look at that and work something out with them.
Okay. Other than that, I have no more other questions or comments.
One thing, if I can recall that the conversation that we needed more parks, were the retention basin going to be it would be sort of like a park, similar to help us with the fact that we don't have parks?
No, they can't.
But one of the things that we're working with is, we really don't want retentions to be parks. And I think that retention is going to be how deep? It's going to be more than 6 feet, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you don't want to use it
Okay.
as a
Okay.
park. But one of the things is that there will be in lieu of fees for parks. There's something we're working with a developer, which those monies can be able to utilize at other parks. For example, can't think of the name right now, Cordova, is that Cordova or Cordova Park? That maybe some of those monies can be used to expand that or use it in other parks nearby. So though that retention won't be used as a park, then monies can be used to improve other parks.
Or the park next door that we have pending still, right? The Hargrave, whatever
That's something
subdivision.
that the city's looking at and what to do there. The problem right now is that the properties are not owned by the city, so it's kind of difficult to go in there and tell the owner. I think the owners are the banks, but I know that the city manager has been working with the banks on that, and so if something can be worked out, yeah, we'll be more than happy to do something there.
Okay, all right, thank you. No more questions?
Yeah, I have one more, yes, suggestion. As this project moves forward, it's going to create a lot of traffic, there's density. Going north on Andrade,
Mm-hmm.
there's a canal. Maybe, thinking, because you guys are going to probably, the income on your fees, permits, it's going to be over $20 million once that project is done. So I think, what is the bridge cost, about $2 million?
Years back, I did that pedestrian bridge along this
Yeah, the
colony.
casitas.
And I think that small bridge must have cost us about maybe 3-4 million.
If you talk to Schreiber, he can build it for less.
Yeah.
He's a smarter builder. Every time the government touches something, it makes it worse. But the reason for that bridge, that we create more traffic on Cole Road, maybe people will have an option turning on Jasper, because I think there's adjacent projects behind them, and everybody get their fair share, but, looking at, when we plan, let's plan for the future.
Yes.
Because one day that could be needed. So better sooner than later sometimes. And it'll give their project and the projects in the back more added value.
Yeah.
That's all.
Thank you, Ralph. Moving on, public hearing, zoning ordinance text amendment. This proposal is to consider minor modification of Calexico's municipal code, section 1705-110. Purposes of 1705-120, permitted and conditional uses. C zones to C specialties. We have a presentation by Ralph.
What staff would like to request at this time, if we can continue this for the next meeting. I know that we were trying to contact some of the owners, so we want to make sure that we inform them before we have the public hearing, so that they have the opportunity to come forward, and then if they have any comments to make, they can do it at that time.
Okay,
I want to
noted.
tell you, I like what you guys put together, so I commend you and your staff. It's very well put together.
Okay. One of the things, this is only going to be the first step. Once the zone changes is changed to mixed use, then the next step is going to be something where maybe planning tied in with economic development can get together and start looking at some of the plans that were put together as far as the designs and what some of the uses can be done in that area. So the first step is going to be the zone change to mixed use, and then from there, there's going to follow the designs and some of the other uses.
Are we gonna get demolition permits as well? Just kidding. All right, we will be continuing this item until further notice from staff. Do we have any discussion items that commissioners would like to bring to our staff for next meeting? None?
I just want to thank our city manager for coming to our planning meeting.
Well, we're not done
You know.
here, Mr.
Oh, okay.
We're still
I
moving
thought
on.
this was over.
We're moving on. Staff comments. Ralph? Staff?
I have no comment.
No comments. Okay, moving on. Planning Commissioner's comments. Mary?
Yes. Okay, I'm going back to the city downtown. Are we actually going to be expanding on what we had, going to be discussing for our next meeting as to any other ideas about what we could do with city of Calexico downtown?
Well,
Other than just the
the zone
zone
change.
change?
And that's what I was trying to bring up, is that I would like to get the zone change done first and get that taken care of, and then we can go into the design. I know the staff, we found some studies that were done, and they're not the studies of back in the 70s or 80s, but they're more recent. And we like to, once the zone change gets done, then start presenting that to the planning commission, and also at that point get the economic development and the downtown people involved in that.
Are there any notices being given to the downtown merchants as to what we're doing right
That-
now? Because I don't see anybody here
Yeah.
at meetings or anything.
It was put on the website,
Okay.
and we publicized it, but we want to make sure that we send notices in the mail to all the property owners in the downtown. That's the reason why we're asking for a continuance.
And they're just needing letters, like if you like you get 100 letters, are they gonna have to have some kind of a noticeable letter from the city? Is it gonna be an official letter? Is it gonna be just like a regular?
It'll be more like a notice that we'll send them that's going to explain what we're planning to do or we're recommending. And that way, if they have any comments, they can either do it in writing, or they can come to the planning commission. We know that we have a lot of absentee owners, and so they probably won't be coming down, but we're hoping that we can get them involved, at least for them to send some written comments or email their comments, and we can share this with the planning commission.
And I have to hear the fact that, when we had the zone change, and some of them didn't receive any notices, that, they would get upset. So I just want to make sure that they're being notified, that's all.
Yes, and yeah, they will be notified.
Any other comments or questions? No? Just picking up on that, downtown, the temporary sign permits, are we gonna coordinate the zone change and the sign permits, the temporary signs on the downtown buildings, or is that gonna be set different?
What we can try to do by
Because I know we were at one point working on those.
Yeah.
Permanent and
Yeah, we can bring that to the planning commission, maybe not at the next meeting, because
No, no,
we
no.
want to get this
no.
done, but at the following meeting,
Right.
we can bring that to the planning commission so we can get some input on the temporary signs. Usually, our plan is to provide or issue temporary signs for new businesses. And usually, they want to test the water to see if their business is going to take off. And then after the 30 or 60 days, then put in their permanent
Right.
signs. And I know a lot of times that falls between the cracks and we don't get to it. But I know that that's something we need to become more aggressive with.
Right, yeah, okay. All right, then, that's all. That's it, any other comments? No, none? Being none, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting for today.
So move.
Second? Commissioner Cesar. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion, meeting adjourned.